See, Rakesh Mahodaya Sanskrute vadati. Rakesh Mahodaya Sanskrute vadati. Right?
Pallavi Mahodaya asti.
Very nice. Pallavi Mahodaya asti. Rakesh Mahodaya vadati. Now he is not I, he is not you, he is somebody else, right? So which Purusha we will take it in? We will take it in Prathama Purusha. Okay, got it? It's Prathama Purusha because he is not I. I'm not referring to I, nor am I referring to you. I'm referring to not I, not you, somebody else. So I take Prathama Purusha. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Tvam, I'm talking about you. What? See, you are speaking. Aham, I am speaking. Uttama Purusha.
Sir,
Me.
we are saying Pratham Purusha is third person. Prathama Purusha is third person. So, like in this case, if you're saying that Rakesh Mahodaya Vadati, so yeah, so Rakesh is third person.
Correct. Because he is not I, he is not you.
Okay. Okay.
I is first Uttama Purusha.
Uttama Purusha.
Tvam is
Madhyama Purusha.
obvious. Tvam, Yuvam, Yuyam. All the three. Right? Is Madhyama Purusha. And everything other than Prathama Purusha, Uttama Purusha and Madhyama Purusha is Prathama Purusha. This is clear, very clear, right? Yeah. So, for every verb comes out of a dhatu. There's something dhatu, right? This is a what we call as a verb root. Every verb, every kriya padam comes out of a dhatu. So there is a mula dhatu, right? The mula shabda is a dhatu. Clear? Yeah. Just like we had in nouns, we had pratipadikam. We had pratipadikam, no? From which we get all the vibhaktis. For example, we said Rama is an akaranta pullinga shabda. So what is Rama? It's a pratipadikam. Unusable in any form because it has got no vibhakti. The vibhakti makes it usable in sentences. So I will say Ramaha gacchati. Rama goes. Right? Then we said Ramasya putra. Correct? What is this? Sashti. Then Pratama. So only when you apply a vibhakti to this pratipadikam, you get a usable word. The word Rama itself is absolutely useless. You can't just simply use it anywhere. To be able to make a noun or an adjective usable in a sentence, you have to add a vibhakti to it. That means you have to classify it into Prathama vibhakti or Dvitiya vibhakti or Tritiya vibhakti or Chaturthi vibhakti or Panchami vibhakti or Sashti vibhakti or Saptami vibhakti. 7 vibhaktis are available to us. This is clear? This concept is clear? Similarly, for a verb, you have something called a dhatu. Okay? A dhatu is the root form, or what I called as the verb root, which is unusable. The root forms are unusable. They are not usable at all. So, what should we do to the dhatu? We should be able to convert this into a verb, a proper verb, usable verb, in by which by adding a lakara pratyaya to it. When you say verb, you want to show the
Tense,
concept
maybe?
tense.
Tense.
Correct? You have to
Hmm.
show concept of tense, right? You want to show whether the action is taking place now, took place yesterday, going to take place tomorrow, took place in the this distant past, distant future. Where is the action?
Hmm.
Get what I'm saying? So then you have add a lakara pratyaya to it, and then uh, make it a full kriya padam, a full verb,
Hmm.
right? So you have, for example, we have the first lakara which we study is called the lat lakara, which means present tense. The lat lakara is the present tense. Okay? And we have, obviously, we expect 9 forms, right? So you have Prathama Purusha 3 forms, Ekavachanam, Vivachanam, Bahuvachanam. Madhyama Purusha 3 forms, Ekavachanam, Dvivachanam, Bahuvachanam. Uttama Purusha 3 forms. So you get a 9 grid matrix. So for example, you go to Vadati, Rakesh Mahodayah Vadati, Rakesh Mahodayah Pallavi Mahodaya Cha Vadatah, Rakesh Mahodayah Kannan Mahodayah Pallavi Mahodaya Vadanti.
Hmm.
Clear? Just give me one moment.
Hmm.
So we have 3 forms in the Prathama Purusha. This is the Prathama Purusha, right? We have the Madhyama Purusha, which says Vadasi, Vadathaha, Vadatha. Fine.
Hmm.
You have Vadami, Vadavaha, Vadamaha. This is the Uttama Purusha. And this comes from the root, verbal root, dhatu, vad. This comes from the verbal root, vad.
But
Is this clear? See, there's many more things to happen. For example, you can have lat lakara, you can have active voice, right? You can have in English you say no,
yeah, active and passive.
I am speaking the truth, right?
Hmm.
Active voice. The truth is being spoken by me.
Hmm.
Passive voice, right? That is another variation possible,
Hmm.
right? You have got kartari prayoga. It's called as the kartari prayoga, active voice. Karmani prayoga, passive voice. And there are 2 more prayogas which are not there in English.
Okay.
Right? You got the bhave prayoga, which itself is a little complicated to understand, but we'll see much later. So you will imagine, what can the third form be? English, you don't have it at all. In none of the languages it is there, but it's there in Sanskrit as well.
Hmm.
Uh, right? So you get 9 forms of the Kriya Padams which we have to study. Very
Hmm.
simple. Right? Also, another thing that happens is a dhatu gets classified into 10 ganas. There are 10 ganas, right? 10 different types. You can say 10 different types, right? Out of which we study only 1, 4, 6, and 10. Okay, which happens to be 90% of the entire language. The rest of them is only 10%, all put together, right? Some important dhatus come in the other ganas, right? Which we have to commonly use. For example, Rakesha Mahodaya Asti. Asti. This Asti comes in the second gana. I've spoken about it in detail in the class. You can,
yeah, I'll watch it. Hmm.
Asti, second gana. Now you can't do without this, no? I mean, of course, there are other options available, like you can say Bhavati, which is in the Prathama gana, right? But Asti is a very common Asti, Nasti, all common verbs which we use in day-to-day life, right?
Hmm.
So you have Asti, which is in the Vidya gana, right? And there are other, for example, Karoti. We say Karoti, Saha Karyam Karoti.
Hmm.
This is in the eighth gana, right? Very common, verb. You can't do without it, right? So on page number 39, they call it Vishesha Kriya Padani. But there is nothing Vishesha about it. They are basically dhatus in other ganas.
Sir, I want to understand when we are saying Gana, what is a characteristic of Gana? Like, what do we mean?
Okay, very nice. To understand that, we have to understand how a Kriya Padam is formed from a dhatu. So let us take a dhatu called Pat, for example.
Okay.
Let us consider a dhatu called Pat. Right? Pat gives the bhava, gives the sense of read. Somebody is reading. You get what I'm saying? Somebody is reading. So read. Correct? Now you have to add a karta to it. You have to put it in Prathama Purusha, Uttama Purusha, Madhyama Purusha, wherever. Give a lakar to it. Okay. Before that, let's try to understand how do we come to this form patati. Clear? When we understand this form, you will understand what do we mean by gana.
Okay.
The classification, how does it take place? So let's try to understand. Now, to this dhatu pat, okay, is added a gana pratyaya. Okay, that means when you say gana pratyaya, that means there is a suffix which is specific to a specific gana. And then, just give me a moment. Somebody at the door. 1 minute.
Okay.
You were absent for so many weeks, Pallavi.
Yeah, actually, someone was sick at my home, so we had to do a lot of running around between the hospital and home. So we had to stay back at the hospital also a few times. So everything was very confusing and chaotic.
Okay, but recording is there.
Yeah. I watched the recordings. Last two I've missed, which I will do maybe today and tomorrow.
Sorry, I have to take the door alone at home. Okay. So you have a gana pratyaya, which itself tells you, when you say gana pratyaya means what? Some pratyaya, something which we are doing specially to every gana. Clear? And then we add what is called as a lakara pratyaya.
Okay.
The lakara pratyaya is telling you the tense. So you have got lat pratyaya. Then you have lang pratyaya. For every tense, there is a pratyaya. See, this is a very mathematical language. Should I say that? in the sense that, you are actually making words from roots. Okay. There are roots available and you are making words from them. Right. This very, a very interesting aspect of this language is, all words are manufactured. They are not, they are just available in nature and, they just come to us. No. Like in English, you say table, elephant. Well, table, elephant is elephant. That's it. You can't break it into any more parts and say, no, Eli means something, fur means something, and unt means something. You can't say that. But
So
here,
yeah.
yes.
So it means that if we have to make a verb usable, we have to add two things to it. One is the gana, and the
Yeah.
other is the tense, like
Exactly.
lakara and other tenses.
So to start with the lakara pratyaya, you have ti, taha, anti,
Okay.
si, thaha, tha,
Mm-hmm.
mi, vaha, maha. These are your pratyayas.
Okay.
Is this clear? Pi, taha, anti, si, thaha, tha, mi, vaha, maha. Okay, these are your lat lakara pratyayas. Did you observe the endings? We wrote vadati, vadataha, vadanti, vadasi, vadatha, vadatha just a few minutes ago. Vada, vadavaha, vadamaha. Are you seeing the same endings?
Mm. So these are the present tense?
These are the lat lakara pratyayas. Got it?
Yes.
Fine. Then we come to the gana pratyaya. So for the first gana, the gana pratyaya is a.
Okay.
For the first gana, the gana pratyaya is a.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It is also called as the vikarana pratyaya. Another name for the gana pratyaya is the vikarana pratyaya. And the lakara pratyaya is called the akhyata pratyaya. Akhyata pratyaya. Two names, they're just two different names. That's it. So if I say vikarana pratyaya, is the gana pratyaya. If I say akhyata pratyaya, is the lakara pratyaya.
Okay. Okay.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
gana pratyaya is a. Now carefully observe. I take a dhatu, it's from the first gana, and I know that the gana pratyaya is a, and then I add. Don't I get pathati?
Mm. Mm.
Don't I? Similarly, you will get patataha, you will get patanti, you get patasi, patathaha, patatha. But we have a little problem when we come to ni. Correct, no? We have a
Yes.
slight problem. This becomes pathami. Correct? So for Uttama Purusha, he says you make this dirga.
Mm.
So this becomes pathami,
Patami.
pathavah, pathamah.
Bahuttamam.
See how we have made the word. We have manufactured the word. The most baffling part of this language is you can make words. They don't exist. You can make them, and if you have the ingenuity, you can go on turning out words. That explains why there cannot be a proper dictionary for this language.
Mm.
Because in a particular context, you might make a word. Who knows?
Correct.
Right? For I told you, first gana we learn the gana pratyaya is a.
Mm.
Learn the fourth gana, the gana pratyaya is ya. Okay. For example, the dhatu nrit, to dance. Right? The dhatu nrit means to dance. So take the gana pratyaya.
Nritya.
Add the lakara pratyaya and you get the form nrityati. Similarly, you get nrityatah, nrityanti, nrityasi, nrityatha, nrityatha, nrityami. He said, make dirgha, uttama purush ke liye dirgha karo. Nrityami, nrityavah, nrityamah. Right? Good. It's a very famous, okay, this is called the Bhadigana. They have not invented any great names for them. For the different ganas, they have not invented very, big names and all that. It simply says Bhu Adi. So in the list of the first gana, the first dhatu is Bhu, which gives us the word Bhavati. Okay, got it? And this is called the Divadi Gana. This is called the Divadi Gana. Divadi means the first dhatu is Div. Div means to shine. To shine. From this word comes Deva. The word Deva comes from the Div dhatu. Div means to shine, to illuminate. Is Div. Got it? So you get Divyati. Correct? It's from the fourth gana, no? So the lakara pratyaya, the gana pratyaya is ya. So Div plus ya plus ti, you get Divyati. Got it?
Yes, sir. So you said that there are 10 ganas, and we would be doing, like, not we would be doing, but majorly we use 1, 4,
10.
10, and there was
1,
another one, 6.
4, 6, and 10.
6 and 10. Yeah.
So
So
now
first, fourth is year. What would be 6th and 10th? Sorry, I'm very curious, so I'm asking this.
the sixth gana pratyaya is the same.
Same. Okay.
So you get, for example, one of the dhatus in the sixth gana is lik, to write, likna. Lik gives the form likhati, exactly behaves like the Bhadigana.
Okay.
No change at all. It doesn't behave any differently. At least you see that it is behaving same.
Likhati,
Likhati,
likhanti.
likata, likhasi, likatha, likatha, likhami, likhavah, likhamah. No change. You don't observe anything. So what happened? Panini made a mistake by duplicating the gana. It looks
But
like that.
there is a reason.
There is a reason. Why there is a reason is because in other tenses this form changes. In Latlakara it looks everything is same, right? But in other tenses there are different other forms are available. To give you an example, for the Pat Dhatu in the future tense, Rit Lakara is Patishyati. We are going to study Rit Lakara also in this book. Right? Rit means future. Now, Lik, what will you expect? What will we expect will happen? Likishyati, Are you able to understand what I'm saying? Pat becomes Patishyati. So Lik will become Likishyati. Correct? Agreed? Correct, no? But this form is wrong. It becomes Lekishyati.
Okay.
You see what happened? The Li became Le. This is something which happens because of it being in a different Gana. It is in the sixth Gana. Is this clear?
Yes.
There are some other things also which happen strange things happen. For example, the vid dhatu. Vid dhatu is to know, from which we get the word Veda. Veda, the Vedas. We say no, our Vedas.
Yes.
Where is Veda becomes from vid. We say Vidwan. You say Vidwan, no, koi Vidwan hai, right? Or you say Vidya, knowledge. Correct? Huh? All these words come from vid. The dhatu is vid. Correct? Now, vid, interestingly, happens to be in the second gana, fourth gana, and the sixth gana. This is also possible. Huh? One dhatu coming in different ganas and means different things. It doesn't mean the same thing. Right? So, what can you expect will become the fourth gana? We have studied just now. What do you think will happen? Tell me.
Year.
Vidya. Okay. And then you add a lakara pratyaya. I'm not going to add it now because I'll give you the reason. I'm not going to say vidyati. Right? This is wrong. It is actually vidyate.
Okay.
Okay, this is another. There is another classification of dhatus. I'm coming to that. Wait.
Okay.
Right. So that this prakara is pratyaya is te. Now vidyate means the same as asti. Exactly same meaning as asti. You know, we use the word in Hindi vidyamana. Yes, you know vidyamana. You know, in Hindi we say no vidyamana. Don't we say vidyamana in Hindi? What meaning is vidyamana?
I know. Vidyaman, I don't know.
No, राकेश जी विद्यमान हिंदी में वापरा जाता है ना?
Yes, yes. विद्यमान.
ये अपने कार्यालय में विद्यमान है.
Talented.
Present.
Talented.
Yeah.
That means to be.
To be, yes. Right.
Correct. So vidyamana coming from here only. Right, coming from vid, right, but from the fourth gana. It doesn't mean knowledge. It means to be, right? This in the dvitiya gana, it becomes veti, which means to know.
Okay.
With dhatu, only in the dvitiya gana means to know. In the fourth gana, it means to be. In the sixth gana, it means to get. Very interesting, no? Okay, and it gets the form vindati. You see what has happened with this something little complicated has happened. You know, you got an akara, you got a nakara, you got this nakara coming in, right? This all happens in the sixth gana. It looks very simple in the, just to look at it, it looks very nice, but something happens, some varna vikaras take place in the sixth gana, right? So is to get, okay, to obtain, to get. Fine. So this is your sixth gana, right? So not so simple as the first gana, right? Though it looks, the vikarana pratyaya is a, but it's not that straight. Huh? Then we come to the 10th gana. The 10th gana, the vikarana pratyaya is aya. Okay. So for example, the chur dhatu, to steal, from where you get the word chor. हम लोग चोर हिंदी में कहाँ से आया? यहीं से तो आया, right? So what happens is something happens and makes from this u into a o, and then you have got aya and ti. So you get the verb form chorayati.
Mm.
10th gana. So I told you what 1, 4, 6 and 10. These are the only 4 ganas which we will do, which happens to be 90% of this language. That's it. Nothing more. Right? 10% only the rest of the ganas. Right? It will be very interesting for you. You know, for the second gana, there is no vikarana pratyaya. No vikarana pratyaya also is a vikarana pratyaya, by the way. You get what I'm saying? See how the language is philosophically inclined, you know. Many people say, you know, there is no God, right? Correct? You have seen this?
Hmm. Atheist.
So for that person, no God is God. You understand what I'm saying? Nahi samjhe? For him, absence of God becomes God. That is what he follows.
Yeah, yeah.
Uttamam.
So, no pratyaya, no vikarana pratyaya also is a vikarana pratyaya only.
Mm.
See how beautifully the language is constructed. So, I told you the as dhatu, correct? You see now your popular kriya padam. No vikarana pratyaya plus t. What happens? Follow. Rakesha Mahodayah na asti. Correct? Huh? Is this the Varna Sammelanam will give asti?
Yes.
Right? See how beautiful it is. You know, asti. Go to the next Dvivachanam. As. No vikarana pratyaya. Saha. Right?
Mm.
Now, Vittam Sutram, he says, remove the saha.
Uh-huh.
As. No vikarana pratyaya. Anti. Remove the Santi.
Mm.
Huh? So it's so beautiful, you know, to know how these words are being made. Literally, they are made. Yeah. It is. So
So,
this is the second gana.
but in the second example, us plus anti, it became
Ah,
santi. But there should be sa halant only, right? No?
no, there should be an here, right? There
Okay,
should
there.
be an only then you will get it, right? So
Correct.
with some things there, he goes on doing this kind of play of varna and gets the final forms. In the Ashtadhyayi, you have heard of the Ashtadhyayi? Panini wrote what is called as the Ashtadhyayi.
Mm-hmm.
Really means Ashta Adhyayi. What is Adhyaya? Lesson.
Lesson 8.
No, 8 lessons.
It is.
8 lesson.
He wrote 8 lessons. I'll show you Ashtadhyayi. Wait.
Hmm.
I'll show you the Ashtadhyayi, from which emanates the whole of Sanskrit grammar. This book. Are you able to see this? Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
See how small it is. Just this
Hmm.
much. इसमें भी you know, काफी सारा उसमें उन्होंने they have given a lot of unnecessary information is there. What like index and you know things are there.
Hmm.
And Panini wrote out of this book is half this book, only this much.
Oh.
From this comes the entire language. Very interesting, no? Have you
Wow.
seen Renan Martin book? Grammar इतना बड़ा book है.
Big.
English grammar. Okay. The most interesting part of this Ashtadhyayi is there are only two verbs used in this his entire book. Consists of only two verbs. Can you think of expressing a complicated topic like grammar without verbs? Or can you express an idea without verbs? Tell me.
No, not possible.
Suppose I tell you, don't use a verb. Talk. How you talk? You can't express anything.
Yeah.
But this genius, he has expressed the entire idea with only two verbs in the entire book. That's it. Nothing else. Okay? So that's the interesting part. Right? And in the Ashtadhyayi, he talks about all these Vikarana Pratyaya and Gana Pratyaya and the Lakara Pratyaya and how to make these words and all that. Clear? And then we have got other Ganas, like the third Gana. For example, I gave a list in the class last time. For example, you have Dadati, to give, and the Dhatu is Da. The Dhatu is Da. Right? Juhoti is to worship. The Dhatu is Hu. This is from the third Gana. Right?
How? Who becomes Juhoti? It's very tricky.
So what happens? No, it's not really very difficult. What happens in the third Gana is something special happens. For example, you take the Da Dhatu. Right? Dhatu is Da. So he says that if it's in the third Gana, then you duplicate this. You get what I'm saying? He says, just duplicate it. That's it. Whatever the dhatu, add one more dhatu. Okay, this is called an abhyas. This dhatu is called this addition. ये जो add किया ना हमने, it's called an abhyas. Right? And what he says, if this swara is dirgha, make it rasva. Did you get Dadati? Right? Very interesting. Or Juhoti is says take who. Okay. Add one more who. Correct? This and T. Correct? Because of this the U changes into a guna. A guna is O. Okay. And this is just an operator. This guy is just an operator, so he goes away. He has made the change of U to O and he goes away. He's gone. Now, who he changes to Ju. She says, wherever a her comes, put Ja. Did you get Juhoti?
So, but wherever who comes, her comes, put Ja. What is that rule?
Other dhatus also, there are other dhatus with her, right? For example, Ha dhatu is there. There's a dhatu called Ha. Ha means to sacrifice.
Okay.
To give away. Right? To lose is Ha. Right? So what is the rule? Tell me. Ha. Ti. Correct? Huh? Now, this induces a guna, but A को कुछ गुण है ही नहीं. Who becomes O? He becomes. So ये कुछ काम करता ही नहीं है. This guy just goes away. Right? ये रस्व करना है हमारे को, ह करना है. Correct? I told you रस्व करना है ना. And this her, wherever her comes, change it to ja. So you get the form jahati. People call this language difficult. It's not difficult at all, but you have to know the rules. That's it. Wherever her comes, put ja. Got it?
So which rule that would be that we are replacing?
That is the rule. That is the rules in the Ashtadhyayi.
Okay.
For the third gana, for the Juhotyadi gana, he says do like this. Wherever there is a dhatu, duplicate it. Make one more. Add one more to the left. Right? Then you get verbs like apnoti. From the ap dhatu, you get apnoti. This is from the swadi gana. This is from the fifth gana. This is called the swadi gana. Right? You get from nya dhatu, you get janati, which is from the ninth gana, to know. Right? I told you about the eighth gana, which is karoti, tanoti. Tanoti is to literally means the tan dhatu. The tan dhatu means to stretch, to pull. That is where your word tana comes from. You know, Hindi में बोलते हैं ना, ये तान के रखो. You say no, रस्सी पकड़ो तान के रखो. What do you mean by tana?
Stretching something.
Stretching, tension. The word tension may be also coming from there only. Right? Tana. Right? It comes from the tan dhatu. It's from the tan dhatu. You have got tanoti. Right? Interesting, no? You know, incidentally, you know what is tanu? Anybody knows what is tanu? Achha, you know what is tanuja?
Tanuja. Tanuja means?
Who is tanuja?
Younger. I think it's
Tanu means the body.
Body. Yeah.
Sharira. Which common word which we know, right? So tanu is body. So who is tanuja? The one who is born from the body. So son, another name for son. Beta is tanuja. Beti, tanuja. Clear? You see how this word tanu comes from? Coming from tan. What is happening to your body? इतने छोटे हो, जब भी जन्म लेते हो तो इतने छोटे हो, बाद में बड़े 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 होते जाते हो. Right? Are you not having tan? Extension, stretching. Somebody is pulling you like this. Huh? See how interesting the concept is. The body is tanu. Why? Because it is coming from the dhatu tan. Now, are you getting a feeling that not only verbs come from dhatus, also nouns come from dhatus? Huh? Correct, huh? Right? So only gana which we have not touched in this book is the seventh gana. Right? Seventh gana is a little complicated gana, you know. So generally we don't touch it. This lot of varna vikaras taking place, and things really get sort of messed up. So this gana, it's called as the rudhadi gana. Rudhadi gana. The dhatu is rudh. The first dhatu is rudh in the seventh gana, right? जिसमें से एक शब्द जो है हम लोग यूज करते हैं हिंदी में भी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अवरोध. व्हाट इज अवरोध?
Obstacle.
Very nice. So it is the rudh dhatu means to stop. कुछ किसी चीज को रोकना, to stop, is the rudh dhatu, right? And this takes a very peculiar form. It becomes runakti. Runakti. So we don't study the seventh gana so much. And in the seventh gana, there are only, if I recollect correctly, there are only 10 or 15 dhatus. That's all. Right? And they are not very commonly used. So in this list on the 39th page, page number 39, we don't have the seventh gana dhatu. Right? A very popular dhatu of the seventh gana is bhungte, which means to consume. The dhatu is called as bhuj. Just give me a moment. You take the door. 1 minute.
Sanskrit is scientific language.
Yeah, many rules.
Sorry, too many interruptions.
No problem.
Okay, so you have the seventh gana, which is a little strange type of vikarana is there, and something very tricky happens. Okay, now what I told you was vidyate, right? You remember I told you I'll tell you why this does not become vidyati, correct? Okay, so then we have one more classification of dhatus. A dhatu can either be parasmai padi. Okay, parasmai padi. Okay, in which case the lakara pratyaya for the lat lakara is ti, taha, anti. Correct? And now you get another thing called as the atmane padi. Okay, where the te, ite, ante. Now see the endings are different. Are you able to get the structure of the language? You have got dhatu. The dhatus get divided into 10 ganas. That is one kind of classification. There are dhatus which are parasmai padi or atmane padi. Okay. And third variety is they go into both places. They sometimes become parasmai padi, sometimes become atmane padi. Are you able to get the classification? There are
Yes.
10 ganas. There is a dhatu. There are 10 ganas. Correct? And every dhatu is either parasmai padi or atmane padi or both. Okay, and when it is atmanepadi, they take the endings te, ite, and ante. So you know where we stopped last time, that Hanuman picture, you know, from that page we will start studying the atmanepadi dhatus, the atmanepadi forms, right? Interestingly, now you'll ask, what is the reason for this division? Why Atmanepadi? Why Atmanepadi? Right? If when you are doing an action for yourself, right, then it will become Atmanepadi. When you are doing an action for someone else, it becomes Parasmaipadi. So, Mata Bhojanam Pachati. Mother cooks food for all of us, no? Right? Right? And somebody is cooking for himself. Saha bhojanam pachate. मेरे खुद के लिए, अभी मैं अकेला हूं घर में, so I cook. So अहम भोजनम पचामी. No, not पचामी. अब अहम भोजनम पचे. Atmanepadi ending. You get what I'm saying?
So it means that when we're talking about verbs, dhatu, so there are two pratyaya. One would be gana pratyaya, the other would be related to tense, so lat, lakar, or
Lakara pratyaya. Then the lakara pratyaya will change depending on it is parasmepadi or atmanepadi.
okay.
So there are nine pratyayas, 9 lakara pratyaya for parasmepadi, 9 lakara pratyaya for atmanepadi. For every tense, for every tense, for every lakara, you'll have 9 parasmepadi pratyayas Nine Atmanepadi pratyayas. Are you able to get the structure?
Yes,
So,
sir.
for example, you have got Dhatu. One classification is 10 ganas. Correct? And what gana is doing? Adding the Vikarana pratyaya. All that is doing is that much only, nothing else.
Hmm.
Addition of Vikarana pratyaya. Another classification, Atmane, Parasmayapadi or Atmanepadi.
Okay. So the tense would depend on whether it is
Yes.
Parasmayapadi.
So the Akhyata pratyaya or the Lakara pratyaya will be different for Parasmayapadi and Atmanepadi. Very simple.
Okay. Yeah.
And how many tenses are there? 10.
Hmm.
Dashalakaraha.
Let-
10 different kinds of tenses. Right? To list it out, we have got Lat, present.
Present. Huh.
Correct? Only one tense for present. 3 tenses for past.
Hmm.
Lung,
Lit.
lit, and lung. Right?
Hmm.
लंग इज कॉमन पास्ट मतलब कल परसों 10 साल पहले रिसेंट पास्ट लिट एंशियंट पास्ट मतलब हजारों साल पहले रामायण के बारे में कुछ बताना है यू राइट लिट लुंग is a timeless past. That means you want to say something which happened in the past, but I don't want to give any specific time frame. I don't know whether it happened yesterday or abhi suppose I want to say Shivaji ruled Maharashtra, right? I don't know what time frame here. कल हुआ मतलब 100 साल पहले हुआ 200 साल पहले हुआ से मुझे पता नहीं, right? An action which took place in the past, but I'm not able to say for sure whether it took place in the recent past or in the distant past. Clear? That is long. So you have 3 past tenses. You have got 2 future tenses, lut and lut, lut and lut. Okay, lut is the near future, kal, parson. Lut, distant future, 10 साल पहले, अपना 100 साल के बाद, 500 साल के बाद. Is it usable? Is it usable by us?
Not
मैं तो
really.
रहूंगा ही नहीं. Correct? Right? So this is a very, very uncommon usage. Not studied. Similarly, lit, not studied because डे टू डे लैंग्वेज में मैं थोड़ी बोलूंगा कि मैं 1000 साल पहले ये किया. आप बोल तो सकते हो कुछ इमेजिनेशन में. Correct?
But generally,
So,
very rare.
generally, so lit we don't study lit. Lung is very honestly, lung is extremely complicated. That means I can teach you lung only after 5 years or 6 years of study. Okay, so lung, so because it's so very complicated, see it has to be used, but we don't use it because काफी complication है उसमें, right? Difficult to study, right? So lut is not taught, lut is not taught, lit is not taught. We do lut, right? We do lut, we do lung, we do lit, because you want to say present, past, future. Correct? Good. So we finished how many? 3 plus 6. 6 we finished, right? 6. Yeah, no? Okay. Then we go to, if you want to say, a possibility, something may happen. ऐसे बोलते हैं ना हम लोग. That is called as the buddhi-ling. Right? A possibility which can happen. You get what I'm saying? मतलब हो सकता है कि वो हो. We have got the next lakara, Ashirling, a tense which has been made only for blessing. One full tense is available for blessing. It's called Ashirling, right? So, but we don't study Ashirling. We have got no authority to bless anybody. I'm sure. We don't have, God has not given us the powers to bless anybody, Only God blesses, right? So Ashirling is out. We don't study Ashirling, right? Then that leaves us with, if you want to give an order or a command to somebody, right? What we in English call imperative mood, right? You want to give a command, you want to make a request, padho, likho, jao, come, go, right? This is what we will study, right? That makes it 9, right? And the 10th one is lrung. Okay. Now, this is also a supposition or an assumption but the classic, why is it not the same as the Vidiling? Because this is an assumption which will never happen. For example, I say, if I were the Prime Minister of India, मैं कभी बनूंगा क्या Prime Minister? कभी नहीं बनूंगा. You get what I'm saying? If I were the Prime Minister of India, then I would do something. Right? मैं कभी Prime Minister बनूंगा नहीं और जो मैं प्लान करता हूं वो मैं करूंगा नहीं. So it is an assumption. It is something which would have taken place in the past, but it has never happened, and it simply is not feasible. Complete imagination, right?
Correct.
That is wrong.
Okay.
For example, I say, had it not rained yesterday, suppose somebody invites you to a wedding, right? And you did not go. So what do you say? Had it not rained yesterday, I would have come. Now tell me, this is one thing, an event which is in the past. Correct, na? It is not an event in the future. अगर कल बारिश नहीं होती तो मैं आता. अभी ये दोनों चीजें पास्ट में है, फ्यूचर में तो नहीं है, प्रेजेंट में भी नहीं है. करेक्ट. अभी ये होने की पॉसिबिलिटी है क्या? इज इट पॉसिबल दैट दिस इज ट्रू? इट इज नॉट ट्रू. इट्स अ कंप्लीट फिगमेंट ऑफ इमेजिनेशन. कल तो बारिश तो हुई, इसके लिए मैं नहीं आया. राइट. So, but this sentence is a complete assumption, right? Imagination है ना, काल्पनिक है ना. So to express things like this, we have got a lakara called lrung, which we are going to study. We are going to study lrung lakara also. So in short, what are we going to study? Lat, lot, lung, lut, Vidiling, in spread over 2 books, spread over this book and the next one.
Okay.
Right? And we are going to study lrung.
Okay.
We are not going to study lit. We are not going to study lut. We are not going to study Ashirling. And we are not going to study lung. Right? These 4 are simply out of our purview. And you will agree that they are not very essential also. Lut तो चाहिए ही नहीं हमारे को, lit तो चाहिए ही नहीं. आशीर्लिंग कौन सा जाके किसको ब्लेस करने वाले? लुंग too complicated. सीखना बहुत मुश्किल है. It's not that difficult, but I'm just telling you, it takes time. You need to really learn the grammar really well to be able to study lung. Right? So lung is out of question. Fine. these 6 lakaras we will study.
Okay.
Because ये तो जरूरी है ना. अभी क्या करने वाला हूँ? I have to mention it. Suppose I want to give an order, request to somebody, I must study it. What happened in the past, I must study. What will happen in the future, I must study. Supposition, study करना है. Assumption, study करना है. Right? Nice way of talking, na? Suppose somebody say, didn't come for the birthday party yesterday. उसको ऐसे बोल देना अच्छा नहीं लगता ना कि कल बारिश थी मैं नहीं आया. अगर ऐसे बोलो, अगर बारिश नहीं होती तो मैं जरूर आता. Nicety of language, you know, to express something pleasurably.
Like.
सुनने वाले को अच्छा लगना चाहिए ना कि आते लेकिन कुछ कारण था जिसकी वजह से नहीं आ पाया. Right? These are all fine qualities of the language. Right? So I think I have covered up almost everything to do with dhatus. Right? Whenever possible, I will, wherever we come to a Kriya Padam, which does not belong to 1, 4, 6, 10. Of course, all Kriya Padams, I'll tell you which kind they belong to. But जो 1, 4, 6, 10 में नहीं आते, especially those I will tell you that these don't belong to 1, 4, 6, 10. Right? 4, 6, 10 are very easy to handle. Others are somewhat difficult. Right? So ये जो पेज नंबर 39 है ना, you will have to study all of them properly. For example, करोति, चिनोति, जुहोति, क्रीणाति. I have gone in great detail. I have spoken in the class. So I wish you go through the recording, right? And check this all out.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Okay. We can any questions so far? I've given you a very overview into what verbs look like in the Sanskrit language, right?
Yes, it was very informative.
Something interesting which I want to tell you. Instead of going to the subject, I want to extend this a little further. Now we said dhatu is there, correct? Right? Which gives rise to a kriya padam. From the dhatu is born a verb.
Correct.
Clear? Good. Okay. What happens also is a dhatu can get a krut pratyaya added to it, and this changes into a noun, a subandha. Very interesting, no? A krut pratyaya can be added to a dhatu, and now you have a word which is a noun. This is a noun.
Okay.
See, which we are using in our day-to-day language. In Hindi, Marathi, you are using it already. For example, pathan, pathanam. Right? The action of reading. See, imagine, correct, think correctly. It is coming from a dhatu. It is showing an action, right? But the action of reading is patanam. Action of running is dhavanam. The person who is reading, pathaka, dhavaka. Correct? So, do you see these words are coming out of dhatus? You say, na, dhavak, right? Correct? These are called krut pratyayanta shabda. Because they are ending the krut pratyaya. They are called the krut pratyaya anta shabda. Or they are krut anta shabda. Right? And they are called as krudant. this the with some very varna vikara changes into the. So this becomes krudanta. Right? See how interesting. Now you have got a noun. And when you get a noun, you can have all the vibhaktis to it.
Mhm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? There's a classification. One is subanta, which is noun or adjective, and you have got verbs called the kriya padam. So you have a word which has jumped from here to here, and this has got vibhakti.
Mm.
The subanta has got vibhakti. Kriya
Mm.
padam has lakara.
Mm.
Correct? Lakara, no? Correct? You have different forms for prathama purusha, madhyama purusha, uttama purusha, kriya padams. But that does not happen with this. This has got 7 vibhaktis, right? This has got vachanam. This also has got vachanam.
Mm.
You see the classification.
Mm.
The subanta has vibhakti. Subanta has vachanam. Kriya padam also has got vachanam, but it does not have vibhakti.
Bhakti.
But it has got lakara. Subanta has got no lakara, because if you say elephant, then elephant ko there is no time element in it. Only an action will have a time element. So
Mm.
lakara will be there only in the kriya padam. It won't
Mm.
be there in the subantam. Are you getting an idea of the structure of this language?
Yes, sir.
So this is very simple. Subanta and tinganta. It's called a tinganta.
Mm.
Kriya padam is it's a misnomer actually. Tinganta. Right? Subanta, tinganta.
Mhm.
Clear? So you find verbs jumping into the becoming nouns, right? Now you'll ask me, why not opposite also possible? Correct. Suppose a
Yes,
verb can become a noun, right? Can't a noun become a verb? Theoretically possible, no?
it is. It is. Yes, sir.
So that also happens. And what happens? A subanta, a noun, gives rise to a dhatu.
Mm.
And a dhatu so obtained is called a nama dhatu.
Mm-hmm.
Right? For example, uh, somebody, so you want to say, he behaves like a girl. Right? So you
Mm-hmm.
get a verb, you can get a verb, saha kumariyate.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? Right? Saha kumariyate. Right? Tarangiyate. Somebody who behaves like a wave.
Okay.
Somebody who behaves like the sea. Sagariyate. Right? So suppose I want to say the water in my glass is behaving like it is the sea. Huh? So I can get verbs like this.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? So what has happened? A noun has got changed into a verb.
Mm. So, sir, you just now said dhatu plus krut pratyay becomes
Yes.
subant. So,
Yes.
what can you give an example of krut pratyay again, please?
For example, I told you the pat dhatu
Hmm.
with something called as the nul pratyaya gives the word pathaka, the one who reads. The one who leads. You know, the one who leads. Who is the one who leads? Tell me.
Nayak, okay.
The one who runs.
Dhavak. Hmm.
Dhavaka. Very
Dhavak.
popular word, no? Nayaka.
Dhavak.
One who leads, coming from the dhatu ni. There are very clear procedures how this happens, how transformation happens. There are very distinctly clear uh, procedures. For example, the one who gives, dayaka. You get what I'm saying? So there are very clear procedures of how these things transformations happen. But do you see that the krut, this nul is a krut pratyaya,
Okay.
right?
So I wanted to understand what is the meaning of Krit Pratyay.
That's the name he gave. That's it. No meaning. He gave a name. किसी को कुछ नामकरण करना पड़ेगा ना.
So,
One is
what is the purpose of Krit Pratyay, if we can
the
say?
krut pratyaya is to make nouns from dhatus, because the action of reading is a noun. The reader, the one who reads, is a noun.
Okay, okay. So it means read is dhatu and reader is when we
Noun.
is noun. So we are okay. Got it. Got it. Okay.
You have been
Read
able
is
to get
adding
a
a key
noun.
to make it a reader, which is Subant. Okay, got it.
Right. That means you are changing the verb into a noun.
Into a noun.
You get what
Got
I'm
it.
saying?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
showed you how noun changes into verb. That also I showed you. In English, don't you say it liquefies? That what it behaves like a liquid. We don't you
So
say liquid?
a very common example could be that right now, if we are ordering something on Amazon or Flipkart, we have the tendency of saying we Flipkarted.
Ah, very nice. So you
Yeah,
have got the Namadhatu equivalent in English.
English. Yeah, we Flipkarted, we Amazoned. So that's wrong English, of course, but people use it. So it's the intent is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So uh, uh, maybe it has come from the Namadhatu equivalent, you know. Yeah, but of course, in certain ways, it is possible. It's possible to do, right?
Mm.
So you have a verb converting into a noun, and you have a noun converting into a verb.
Mm.
And as soon as it converts into a verb, it will have all the lakaras.
Correct, correct. Yeah, then
And
all the rules will
this
apply.
verb is converting into a noun will have all vibhaktis,
Mm.
right? If I can tell you, for example, this is the book of a reader.
Mm.
That means etat pathakasya pustakam.
Mm.
Didn't the word take a vibhakti?
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
It came a noun, na? It
Yeah.
came from a dhatu, pat plus nul, made it into a subanta, and then we added the sashti vibhakti pratyaya, making it patakasya pustakam. So it has
Hmm.
become a noun, and when it becomes a noun, it is going to take all the properties of a noun. So one
Hmm.
of the properties of a noun is it takes vibhakti,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Very
Some
interesting.
will liquefy when it becomes a verb. It takes its properties of showing time.
Hmm.
Is this clear? You see the structure of the language.
Hmm.
Got it?
So
You
we
know they're
say
very
when we add tense to dhatu, it becomes padam,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
So if we have to find a corresponding word for dhatu in English, what would it be? Or
There is
is
no there is no root. We
yeah.
don't have, we don't
Hmm.
have this concept at all.
Hmm.
We don't make words, you know. In English, we don't manufacture words. We have words available to us. If I say go run, talk, walk. They are not coming out of something and becoming walk.
Mm.
Right? There is a very popular word Vishnu. No, Vishnu, Lord Vishnu.
Mm.
Why is it called Vishnu? Now Vishnu is a Krudanta. The word Vishnu is a Krudanta. It means with the Nuk Krudanta, Nuk Pratyaya. That means where to add the Nuk Pratyaya means that that entity is going to continuously do this action.
Okay.
This means to enter.
Mm.
We say pravesha. Pravesha in English means to entrance, no?
Mm.
Yes.
Where does this pravesha coming from? It is coming from wish, right? So that entity which is continuously entering. See,
Mm.
Vishnu is what? The word Vishnu means that which pervades every cell of this universe.
Mm.
He is constantly entering into something.
Mm.
That is wish, right? In the Vishnu Sahasranama, Vishnu is called as Jishnu.
Mm-hmm.
This is another Krudanta. This is another Krudanta from G to Vin and the Snuk Pratyaya. See, the person who constantly wins, he is Jishnu. The G dhatu, from where you get the word Jaya. The G
Mm.
dhatu, you get the word Jaya. We say Jaya, no? Win.
Mm.
From the Snuk Pratyaya, you get the word Jishnu. That means the one who constantly wins,
Mm.
never loses,
Mm.
constantly wins. So you see, there are close to 50 Krudanta Pratyayas, almost 50. We will study about 5-6. We'll study, and I will bring to your notice this Krudanta Pratyaya, right? Which have come from verbs and have become nouns. And when they become nouns, all vibhaktis will come. They will do action. They will give something. They will take something. They will have possessions. They will be in a certain location. Right?
Okay.
So all these properties they will get, and therefore they become vibhakti. Vibhaktis will get added. Right? I have used this class to explain to you the structure of the language, which is very important. Before we really learn the language, we must know what is the structure.
Mm.
Correct?
Yes.
I wish you go through the classes, recordings, and all that.
I will, sir. Yeah.
I think we'll close for today.
Yes.
Again, some at the door, so I have a problem. Right?
Okay.
We'll meet on next Tuesday. We'll again now start with our thing. I want you to finish the
I will,
recordings.
sir. Yeah. I tried to, but yesterday, sort of
Yeah.
backlog. Yeah, otherwise I would
Do
have
it
finished.
before the next class, because
Yeah.
then what will happen is we'll again then start. Yeah.
Yes. Of course. Yeah.
Namo Namaha.
Namo
Namo
Namo.
Namah.
Namo Namo.
Enjoying the Rakesh ji.
Aj.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.